Deeply disturbed by the ongoing violence in South Sudan and in the Congo. Terrorism, which we will eradicate completely from the face of the earth.
Africa will easily attain peace now that Donald Trump has won the election. And with peace come many good things such as prosperity, for example. Because right now, many investors are passing up on Africa because of instability, of wars, corruption, and many other factors. And Donald Trump actually is fighting against terrorism all around the world. He's fighting against all those extremist groups, and at the same time too, he's always advocated for peace in Africa, for stability, because he's anti-globalism, anti-globalist agenda. So when there is peace in Africa, when there is prosperity all around the world, people don't have to mass migrate. And that's good for everyone. And the US can also make beneficial contracts or agreements with other countries, mutual exchange and stuff like that. So let's hear what Donald Trump has to say. But I remember also when Trump was president, things started progressing in Africa. Those 4 years, it's like there was a pause on those globalists, on those wars, and many other things.
We cannot have prosperity without security. To make the world safer from rogue regimes, terrorism, and revisionist powers, we are asking our friends and allies to invest in their own defenses and to meet their financial obligations.
This is one thing he told all the African leaders. He told them, listen, you have to invest in your defense line, in your security. You have to rebuild your police and your military. That was one thing he told them. He told all of them. There was two things that were very important when Trump was president. He told the African leaders, fight against corruption. This is where you can remove all the trade barriers. Fight against corruption to make it easier for even the diaspora to come back home and invest. I have given you guys the case of Dikembe Mutombo, a rich superstar millionaire that was trying to invest back in the Congo, and his own people gave him a hard time. So much corruption, he wasn't able to even finish his project fully. He was trying to basically renovate the healthcare industry, build hospitals and schools and stuff like that. And also, Trump was insisting about the police, about security. Those two things would have opened doors for investors to come to Africa and restore some type of stability. But the African leaders are puppets of the globalists, so that was going against the agenda that they were assigned, the missions that the globalists assigned to them.
Our common security requires everyone to contribute their fair share. We will reinforce old alliances and form new ones and unite the civilized world against radical Islamic terrorism, which we will eradicate completely from the face of the earth.
Yeah, so basically like those like Al-Shabaab, ISIS, Boko Haram, those are Islamic extremist, radical Islamic terrorist organizations. Those have nothing to do with Islam, with Muslim people. So those groups, those extreme groups are also in Africa, Boko Haram, ISIS, Al-Shabaab and all these things. So Trump was fighting against all of that, and that was benefiting Africa at the same time. That's why when he was president, there was no wars, and even the terrorism in the world tremendously decreased. There was a pause in all of those things, and Trump was able to actually remove the ISIS leader, something like that. And he was pretty much collaborating with African leaders, with leaders of all around the world that were on the same page to accomplish that mission. That's what he was doing. Look at this with the Nigerian president.
Here and terrorism all over the world. It's a hotbed, and we're going to be stopping that. As you well know,
Yeah, so basically he was trying to stop terrorism all around the world. And that's why someone like Trump will appreciate someone like Ibrahim Traoré. And Ibrahim Traoré also will appreciate Trump. For those who don't know, Ibrahim Traoré is the president of Burkina Faso, and he's fighting against terrorism to the max. He's very engaged into that. He's very passionate in destroying terrorism in his country because he's trying to make his country prosper, attract investors to come and develop his country's economy. He's trying to do that. So it's very important for him to take care of the security of his territory, of his nation. And Trump will support someone like that. Trump will actually work with someone like that, because the people that are funding all these terrorism groups and all these things, those are the Democrats and even the Republicans too. Trump is not a Republican. Trump is in the middle. Trump just infiltrated the Republican Party so he can become president and change the world. But the establishments are on the same page as the globalists, and their mission is to destabilize the African continent, the global south. That's their mission, to destabilize and pretty much sell out, like take over the country. This way they can use that, they can recolonize Africa and then enslave the whole human race. That was their mission. But Trump is against that. So, yeah. So someone like Trump will actually be a good partner to Ibrahim Traoré. And you want more leaders like Ibrahim Traoré in Africa, like General Tiani. Yeah. And Assimi Goïta of Mali.
Many people are suffering from conflict in Africa. In the Central African Republic, the Congo, Libya, Mali, Somalia, and South Sudan.
Yeah, Trump was against what was happening in the Congo and in South Sudan. People are going to say he's racist, but look at him, very involved in sub-Saharan African affairs for good intentions, for the best of them, of us. Because when Trump was president, he actually stood up against Paul Kagame. Trump wasn't messing with Kagame. And Kagame is the beloved golden child of the Clinton, of the Democrats. They love him. The globalists, the Europeans, the Democrats, the Clinton, they love Kagame because he's their beloved puppet. He's the beloved puppet. Kagame was able to help the globalists accomplish their mission, which was to pretty much take over the Congo, the eastern region of Congo, take over that lands. Balkanization of Congo. Kagame was, like even that genocide in Rwanda, Kagame was an orchestrator of that, with the globalists, of course. You know, the Clintons, all those people, they are all behind that, allegedly. So when Trump was president, there was peace in the Congo. Nothing was happening. Peace started to be restored. And then as soon as Trump left, boom, the Kagame, the Tshisekedi, the Biden, all those African leaders with the globalists, the Biden, the Clinton, you know, like the Macron, all those Europeans, all those NATO, they started doing all this BS again.
Among others, they're going through some very, very tough and very dangerous times. Terrorist groups such as ISIS, Al-Shabaab, Boko Haram, and Al-Qaeda also threaten African peace. The United States is proud to work with you to eradicate terrorist safe havens, to cut off their finances, and to discredit their depraved ideology. And a number of you have told me, actually last night, that we've been doing a very good job over the last 6 or 7 months in particular.
See, that was when he was president. So he was making steps, he was taking steps toward that goal of achieving peace over there. And he was working, because we didn't hear about no wars in Africa when he was president. You know, he was pretty much destroying those extreme organizations to their roots, at their roots. That's what he was doing. So if he comes back now, party time is over. Now he's gonna go full on hardcore on those people. No mercy. He's gonna destroy all those things. And they're gonna be peace in Africa. That's why I don't understand all these Pan-Africans influencers talking about, oh, Trump racist, always talking about racism and all these things. Like, we have to look at the bigger picture, you know. Trump is a human, just like all of us. Like, he may have a heart of humans, you know. He might be like, I'm a human, I don't want to see other humans suffer too. We never know. You don't know him, you don't know what's in his heart, you know. God may be using him. We all have a past, but God may be using him for the advancement of the human race, to give us a chance, you know, to give us an opportunity to also, you know, get the best out of this life on earth.
We're closely monitoring and deeply disturbed by the ongoing violence in South Sudan and in the Congo. Millions of lives are at risk, and we continue to provide humanitarian assistance. But real results in halting this catastrophe will require an African-led peace process and the really sincere commitment of all parties involved.
You hear that? You say we are giving them humanitarian help, but like that's not what's needed, you know. Like, he's trying to go to the root of the problem. Democrats, they give you okay, not only Democrats, the establishment. Okay, Democrats, the globalists, they give you a handout, just like they give like people welfare in America. Like, they want you to stay reliant on them, but they don't want to stop the problem. But Trump is like, listen, we can't keep giving them humanitarian help like AIDS and stuff like that. No, we need to help them get out of this situation so that they can become independent, so that they won't rely on us anymore. That's what Trump wants. So what's the solution? A peace treaty, you know, a peace treaty, and then start trading with each other. Let's say Congo and Rwanda, for example. Stop the war, and let's see what's causing us the war. Okay, Rwanda, you want these resources? Okay, that's fine. Let's do this. Let's put a peace treaty, and let's put a trade treaty too. Something like, I don't know, like US, Mexico, Canada, you know, like USMCA, something like that. You know, this way we can trade with each other instead of killing each other over resources. You buy something from me, and I give you something in exchange. You pay some tariffs, you know, something like that, you know. And that will actually boost the economy of that African region, on the East African region, you know. That will create jobs for a lot of people, for everyone on the East Africa and Central Africa. Anyways, guys, you get the point. Donald Trump is good for Africa peace. Stop listening to these influencers manipulating you, all these like race grifters, you know, like all these like, yeah, all these grifters. Like, they don't know what they want, or they're not educated enough to understand these kind of things. All right, guys, peace.